Ok. Então, so talking about the summer, which is also known by Ayurveda as the Pitta season. We have Vata season, we have Kapha season, we have Pitta season, 3 seasons, okay, throughout the year. And summer is considered Pitta season because of the hot days, the more brighter days, longer days. So what that does is generates more heat, right? So let's talk a little bit about what happens to us. So logistically, we can easily understand that the tendency is that we might get more dehydrated, right? Because our temperature, our body temperature is higher. So we may get dehydrated. We could get irritated, like, more irritable because of the heat, more sweaty in the body. And if we're choosing foods that are very heavy, or not only heavy, but heating, imagine like Mexican food, like chili peppers, or red wine. Red wine is very heating. So that may create excess pitta. Even if we don't have pitta dominant in our bodies, the pitta that we have may get excessed over the top, right? So Ayurveda is very simple. And the principle of Ayurveda teaches us to apply the opposites, because like increases like. So if we are eating foods that are heating, for example, the chili peppers, spicy foods, that warms up the body, right? If we're having red wine or hard liquor, that will also overheat us. So what do? We do the opposites. So anyone has any idea of what type of foods would be cooling for the body, that will keep the body cooled? Anyone? Yes, go ahead. I want to hear your opinion.
Fruits and salads and something cold, light.
Mint.
Meat?
Mint.
Mint. Okay, mint.
Peppermint.
Peppermint, mint. Uh-huh. All right. So definitely all those things are a little bit cooling for the digestive system, right? So there are actually a list of things that we can use, that I'm going to mention to you, that you should make favorite, and things that you should avoid. And when you said mint, I understood you said meat, and red meat tends to be also heating for the body, right? So instead, perhaps choosing something that it's not as heated, like maybe fish or chicken, or that, things that are less salty as well. So avoid bacon, sausages, those things that have a lot of high potassium content, that also may increase the heat within. But of course, like you said, we are going to do the opposites. Then opposites, we can choose, let's say, watermelon. Then look what I did. If you have watermelon and you like to drink fruit, watermelon juice, just add a little bit of water, put it in a blender, maybe ice cubes if you like it cooler. And I added also spearmint right in here, and it's very cooling. Everybody knows that coconut water is very, very hydrating, and it's also cooling. Look where it comes from. It comes from the tropics, right? Uh, also, in Ayurveda, we go by the tastes, right? So for Pitta season and a high Pitta, excess Pitta, we use the tastes to pacify Pitta. And they are sweet, they are astringent, and they are bitter. So those 3 tastes, if you can implement into your lunch, into your breakfast, into your dinner, those would be very pacifying. And instead of red wine, why not a nice glass of rosé or white wine, right? So let's see, what else can we do to pacify pitta besides food? And I'm gonna mention more later on. So we can use yoga postures. We can favor some yoga postures, and usually instead of practicing when the sun is very hot, do it in the early part of the morning or after 4 p.m. And postures that are great are camel pose, cobra pose, camel pose, anything that opens the chest. And I have here some other ones that I wrote it down. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, fish. If you don't know what fish pose is, you actually do it from laying down position with the chest facing the sky. You can bring your arms behind the back, or you can place your elbows on the floor and simply lift your chest up and slide the back of your head down on a mat. Open the chest, this. So anything that opens the chest. And any postures that you also can extend sideways are also very cooling for the body. And legs up the wall, also really nice to cool down with those postures. For breathing techniques, one that immediately helps with cooling the body is Shitali. And some of you are familiar with Shitali. We make a little straw-like shape with the tongue, which looks like a little taco. If this is not possible for you because genetically doesn't work, then okay, then you just curl the tongue up and then breathe through that little shape that you created with the mouth open and exhale out through the nostrils. Anybody like to try? Yes? All right, sit nice and tall, shoulders relaxed. Then make the shape with your tongue that works for you. And use a very slow, long breath in through that shape. It's very cooling. And as you exhale, exhale out through the nostrils. It's like drinking a glass of watermelon juice. And you repeat that several times until you feel not only your mind calming down, but your body physically begins to cool. So that's wonderful postures and breathing technique to help you cool down. Now, there are another thing that is very interesting. Ayurveda teaches us that because the days are longer, it is okay to go to bed a little bit later. You know, usually they say between 10:30 p.m. is the ideal time. Well, actually in the summer, we can extend an hour later. So maybe 11 p.m., 11:15 p.m. exactly, because the days are longer. So that's pretty cool. Now, when you go to sleep, finally go to sleep, if you can, favor sleeping on your right side. So you're on the right side of your body. And that will increase the opening of your left nostril. And the left nostril is called the Ida Nadi. And the Ida Nadi is the subtle energy channel that connects us with the cooling moon. So the cooling moon. Pretty cool.